Welcome to the Dirt Life podcast. This is episode 11. I'm here with my good friend Tarren Pidherney. Let's hear a little bit about what you're doing these days. You moved companies, you built a company, you left. What's your role now?
So doing a little bit of everything, business development, bringing in new clients, building relationships with existing clients, and then operating systems. So I'm designing our own internal operating system that we're going to use to try to go paperless. We are paperless in the field, mostly in the office right now, but trying to polish it up and build a finished product.
You're going to develop the own software for that?
It's done. Like we're using it. We're pretty much paperless right now. This next year is going to be just polishing, cleaning it up, and fixing all the fuck ups in it because there's a lot.
Road to Rail is kind of a new company.
Yeah, been around just shy of 3 years now. Started out basically with a backhoe and doing some stuff for rail maintenance, and we've kind of grown it into a full-blown civil, mining, oil field, construction company. We're doing a fair bit of equipment rentals and heavy hauling, lots of heavy hauling.
So you're also renting equipment now?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's good. I came from the rental world, so had lots of existing clients that just kept calling. So when it works good, like when we're busy seasons this summer, so use our gear for the summer, and then once winter hits, if I can rent it out, we're getting utilization out of the equipment for most of the year, which is everybody's dream.
I don't know much about rail. Is there work to do in the winter, like rail-wise, or?
There is. It's definitely a little bit slower. Like there's all the switches and stuff got to be cleaned off, blown off. Ice buildup has got to be broken off, but it's not like it is in the summer. Summer, it's busy.
You're building actual railway?
Yeah. Well, so we'll do maintenance. We'll do replacement on crossings and stuff. So when you drive over a set of tracks, it's rougher than fuck. They have programs to replace those every so many years. So we'll go out, we'll yard the old section out, clean up the ballast rock, level it, put the new section in, and then usually the rail construction has their own guy. The rail side has their own people that come in and mount it, weld it, and do all that.
I will never forget the first time I drove over tracks with a dozer.
Yeah.
And I made contact on both tracks. The fucking lights were going off, like a train was coming. I was like, oh my God, what? It's here already?
I didn't deal with rail till I came over to road to rail, and I was blown away by how unelegant it is. Like when you're thinking rail, they're hauling train, like fucking 100 cars on them. Mm-hmm. You think it's elegant, it's engineered, it's legit. It's an unelegant process.
Like barbaric.
It's a little bit like building a road with the GPS and everything and all the tools and stuff, and then you go to do rail and it's just not the same level. It blew me away.
You just eye it out, or like it has to be precise.
It's precise. They have their tools. Everything's pre-built, but it's just like you only have, they shut the track down from 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. So that last train goes by and it's just like a cannon goes off and you just start ripping shit out. It's crazy.
Road to Rail has been growing throughout the last few years that I've kind of been watching and been doing some stuff with you guys. What has been your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge, everybody says people right now, but I think it's a little bit higher up than that. Like it's company structure and company policy. If you can have good structure, good policy, a good place to work, people want to come work for you. So the hardest part is building and developing that.
From the top down, right?
Build from the top down. Like you can always say, oh, we get shitty people, but if you keep getting shitty people,
it's your own fault at some point.
There's a reason. At some point you got to take a little bit of credibility or a little bit of accountability and go, okay, what can we do differently? How can we attract differently? That's a big part of our social media campaign is we want to look like a cool, fun, exciting company to come to, and when people do come because they see what we're doing, they want to stay because we're doing good things, we're treating them right, we're structuring properly, and that's the hardest part. Like we grow like super fast, so there's a lot of systems and procedures that we were trying to put into place that they're not polished by any means. It was like, okay, fuck, we got $3 million of billing that we were not prepared to bill out. Let's figure out how we're going to invoice for this and just throw stuff into place. So, and people don't realize the field notices that. Like when the office is a shit show, the field picks up on that and it creates a bad environment, I think. So as much as everybody wants to go, well, field does the field, office does the office. It's so intermingled that if your office is a shit show, your field's a shit show. So hardest part of it is keeping up with the growth and making sure everything's cleaned up, polished, ready to go do the work before it turns into a shit show.
As you all know, operators jump around. What is Road to Rail doing to kind of counterbalance that?
The easiest way to keep guys around is keep them busy. So go for as much work as you can during the busy season without burning guys out, and try to keep them busy in the winter. It's hard in our industry. That's why we are as diverse as we are. Like, that's why we're getting into the rail. That's why we're doing mining. It's the heavy haul. It's try to keep people busy year round. It's the easiest way to keep people.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as an operator gets a whim that, hey, this project's coming down, you don't have another spot for them, they're making phone calls, and they have a life to sustain. So you can't blame anybody for trying to make sure they're busy working.
Yeah,
you can't keep them busy working, but
dude, I've been there.
that's the industry.
I did 20 years of fucking being weather dependent
Yeah.
construction, like shit.
Yeah, so
It's tough.
keep people working as much as you can, and then there's a balance to that too. Nobody wants to work 2 months straight without a day off, because that's what construction turns into when you get 2 months of good weather. So you got to try to
long weekend.
you got to try to manage that, and it's tough.
It'd be so much different if we lived somewhere else. Like if we lived in like
Just California or fucking Arizona.
anywhere like. But then you have other problems like too hot.
Yeah.
Your AC breaks down. You can't even run a machine.
No, you just shut it down, right?
Like you shouldn't here either, but we do.
Yeah.
But it's not as hot. It's the same level, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of issues. It always comes from the top down, and a lot of it's to do with just growing fast and trying to stay on top of it. You can go get the work, you can go do the work, but you got to be able to bill for the work. If you can't get the work, you can't do the work. If you can get the work but you can't do the work, you can't bill for it. Like, it's all so intermingled that, and I think a lot of people forget about all of those being as together as they are.
I've seen that you guys are using scrapers.
Yes.
Now, typically these days, only the big guys are using scrapers. They're a pain in the ass. They're expensive. You can only use them 4 to 6 months of the year, blah, blah, blah. Why are you guys using scrapers?
They're the most efficient way to move dirt.
Yes.
When you can.
Yes.
They're great when they're great. They're a lawn ornament when you can't use them, but big stripping jobs and stuff, you can't move dirt any faster.
They make money.
They make money. They cost a lot of money, but they make a lot of money.
Yeah, you can buy them older and rebuild them. You're not paying $1 million, $2 million a machine anymore, or like for brand new ones, right? You can buy older ones and
You can get older ones, rebuild them, but like just the maintenance on them, repairs, welding, like it's
brutal.
We kind of have a policy: if we got 3 scrapers on site, there's a mechanic on site.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to keep them working.
Well, you need 3 to run too.
Pretty much. Like they're logistically they're a nightmare, but when you can get the job for them, you can get them on there. It's awesome.
Okay, let's change gears here a little bit. You came with me and Paul to Bauma, to Germany.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit. How was it? What did you experience? Did you see any cool stuff there, tech-wise or machine-wise? Like,
Yeah, I love Bauma. I thought Bauma was an awesome show. I'd go there over ConExpo any day of the week, I think.
it's huge though, eh?
It's huge. It's in Germany, which is cool, but I felt like it was a lot more organized. Like, you can go to one section, say, hey, I want to see a bunch of dozers. You can go to one section and find all the dozers. ConExpo, I felt like we were just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to find the things we wanted to see. And Bauma's twice the size. It's massive.
At least.
But it's just organized. It's structured. You go to where you want. Well, fuck. I think we did 3 hard days there, and we maybe seen 50% of it, maybe. It's huge.
I never really thought of like how it was organized. Like you explained about the Dozer sections. Somewhat true. It depends on the brands. Like the brands were spread out, but
you had the brands like the Komatsu, John Deere, Cat. Like they're all within the same. Yeah. Like you're close. Like, okay, I want to go
Lindley Bear was across the.
Yeah, and like the construction side, and then you had cranes over here, and then you had the telehandlers over here, and like I'm not into telehandlers. I didn't have to go walk through the
You don't
telehandlers.
like those?
Yeah, they're fine, but
Dude, they're sick.
it's not
I'm
the only one that's cool is
Dumbest
that
shit ever.
one at ConExpo, that fucking Amazon Hercules thing.
I had a fight with a friend. he's a framer.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I love this fucking forklift telehandler. I was like, that shit's lame.
Yeah.
And he got angry. He's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
When you have to lift like plywood and floorboards and two by fours to the like the third level, he's like, you love that machine. That's like the bee's knees, I guess.
Everything has its place.
It has its place. It's just like, I never thought of that. I don't frame houses and lift wood up stories, right? But yeah, it has its purpose, and I guess some are amazing. Yeah, fuck that shit. So.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. But no, I just thought the way Bauma was set up, and then same thing. You want to go into you want to go see new technology as far as GPS and stuff goes. They had an entire, I don't even know what you'd call it, a warehouse just dedicated to that. And then you wanted to go see hydraulic hoses. They had the whole like it was just organized. It was structured. You could look at the map.
After building after building, all with.
Yeah, but you could look at the map and go, okay, I want to look at this. Go there, you see all
nuts
that.
and bolts. Here's a bunch of nuts and bolts or components.
Whereas I felt like ConExpo, it's just you go here and then we got lost in the hyperloop trying to get to a different section. Like we were drinking a lot more at ConExpo, so maybe that affected it too. But
yeah, at Bauma we were drinking after.
Correct, we were doing the show legitimately there, so
kinda.
I thought Bauma was great. Good people there. Seemed more like family. Like I noticed when we were there too. There's a lot more families. Like when you're going through the gate, you'd see a mom, dad, 3 kids, and like it was just the show for everybody. It wasn't just construction.
I never thought about that either. That is
tons of families
right,
and
old people that like don't have nothing
to do with construction, but it's just like the place to be there, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, like in Munich, it's like it's a well-known function that happens.
The city shut down for it.
Yeah, they shut down for
like
it, and they participate in it.
Yeah, the city was structured around that show that week.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And the prices go up during that week.
Oh, yeah.
Moly. Yeah, right on. Let's talk a bit about operators a little bit. Do you deal with operators at all?
Yeah.
Like, do you vet them?
Yeah, so like everybody, we're small enough, like we don't have a HR department just structured to hiring. So like when we need people, everybody's kind of on board trying to bring people in, hire people. Operators are tough, but like I said, I think it all comes from the top down too. Like you can go hire 20 good operators. If they all walk off on you partway through a season, you just got to go hire 20 more. It just gets that much harder to find people. When you can hire 10 good operators, they work with you all season. They go, okay, I'm going to go pipelining this winter, and they call you May 1st, going, hey, I'm ready to come back to work. Like your life's easy if that's the case, and that's something we're really working to structure. And if we can keep them busy in the winter, even better. But if they want to go pipelining, great, whatever. There's lots of money in pipelining, but like hopefully they're calling us May 1st, June 1st, saying, hey, I'm available. Love to come back and work for you guys, because that's the way to hire people.
So you just keep them happy, you build some type of relationship with them. Like, is there any perks or like? Yeah,
we're small enough. Like we're trying to give guys hats. We're trying to give them hoodies. We're trying to do this small, it's small stuff, but I think it goes a long ways. And then pay, like when we look at industry average, you have a bottom line and top line, middle. Our goal is to be in the top line of paying industry standard. Like we would rather people make more money, be happy, live a lifestyle they want to live, and come work for us versus they're scrambling for every dollar all the time. And that's when you get the guy who gets offered $1 more and he wants to jump ship. When you can offer a good environment, that dollar isn't always enough. They offer him $10, $15 an hour more, yeah, it's a hard sell, but $1 shouldn't persuade somebody to leave. If it is, you're missing the boat somewhere.
No, I know. I've seen that 1,000 times. Like some operators are stupid. It's like you leave for $1 because you think you're gonna make more money, but what you don't know is they only have work for 3 or 4 months, and then you're gonna have to look for a new job. So you'll have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month gap of no paycheck in between jobs.
Yeah.
Like consistency wise, if you stay with one company that pays $1, even several less, and it's consistent, you make more money over the year.
Oh, 100%. And then same thing, like I've worked with big companies where the field staff, there's a lot going on, so to keep when you got 300 people working for you, like to know, okay, who should we give a raise to? Who should we like? That's tough. Like that's a full-time job. So this is kind of one thing we're structuring around and really, really pushing for. Like our goal is, if you're coming to us asking for a raise, we look at your pay and go, shit, like, yeah, we should give you a raise. Like we look at that as we failed. Our goal is to come to you and say, hey, you're doing a wicked job. Here's $2 more an hour. This is where we think you should be after we've seen what you've done. And like that's our goal, is to go to people with money before they come to us asking for money, if it's warranted. Obviously, the more value you add to the company, the more value you're worth, right?
Yeah, I myself, I'm trying to do the same thing. Like Travis, I gave him a $5 raise just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He didn't ask, but like, dude's amazing also.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that goes a long way. You don't have to ask.
Yeah. Well, and everybody who hires, every company is set. Like you don't know. Everybody comes in, they're the all-star finishing operator, and
Yeah, they all are.
they all are. And it's okay. Hey, this is where we're starting guys that are at your level, and tell them, like, after a month of us using you on the site, if you're where you say you are and you're a higher level, we're happy to give you more money. A lot of companies say that. A lot of hiring officers say that. Does anybody actually really follow up on it? Not all the time.
I've also worked for some big companies, and I was in the position foreman or whatever, and it was my job to give guys raises. Or, like, I had that ability, so I did.
Yeah.
Do your foremans kind of do that too, or?
Yeah, like right now
because they're the ones watching them doing the work, dealing with them.
They know who needs more work, and that's how it should be. The foreman, whether the foreman has power to give out raises or whether the foreman has a system to call into the office and go, hey, like, we need to bump this guy. Like, I don't know what he's making, but he's great. So that's kind of another thing we put into place. We have like on-site competency thing, and everybody's got their competency thing, but we actually got it opened up. It's an online app for foremen where basically they can watch a guy go and go, yeah, like, he's a rock star dozer operator, he's this, he's that, and it's supposed to come into because there's an issue with multiple people giving out raises, I find, because then you start to get a little, like, what you think's worth $5, I might think's worth $2, and then this guy thinks it's $10, and then all of a sudden you got people doing this, and as much as everybody says you're not supposed to talk about wages, everybody talks about wages, and then you start getting guys pissed off. So you do need structure. You do need, okay, this between here and here, this is, you're this level, this is your wage. Here and here, level, wage, right? So you need that structure. So it's kind of got to be, I think it's got to be like a group. You can't just have one person going, okay, I'm going to give you $2 an hour, you $5 an hour. It's got to be like, hey, this is what I think. Everybody go, and one person goes, well, this guy's only making this, and I think they're the same level. Okay, well, bring them both up then, right? So there's got to be communication in that. So that's where we've kind of done the competency test. We've got structure for our guys in the field to shoot us a message, go, hey, this is what I think, and then it's a group. Okay, I agree with that, but this guy's here. We got to bring him up with him, or girl, or whoever, right? Like, there's got to be consistency.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big fight.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, you're not supposed to talk about.
Everybody does.
Dude, that's the first thing people
and
talk about.
I'm not opposed, like, being on this side of it, it's like, fuck, like, don't talk about it, but at the same time, how do you know your value? Like, how are you supposed to know your worth, your value, even us in the positions we're in? Like, if you don't talk to people about where they're at, what they're doing, you can't put value on it. It's impossible. There's a lot of power, like superpowers out there when you talk construction, especially in Alberta. There's superpower companies, but to see a company today start from nothing and grow into that, it's hard to see. It's hard to step back and go, okay, yeah, somebody can do that right now. Like, it's the cost of equipment, the cost of labor, the cost of operating, margins, like, it's a whole different level. To see company come from 1 or 2 trucks and up to 600 pieces, like, yeah, it's possible. I have a hard time seeing that happen as quickly as it has in the past.
It was easier 20, 30 years ago.
I don't want to say it's easier. It was different. Like, right now, access to money is easy. Back in the 80s, access to money was not easy. You're fucking borrowing at 20%.
Right, but you had less competition.
Well, you were operating on cash. Yeah. Like, back then, you were operating on cash. It was hard to borrow money. Money was very expensive. You operated on cash. Cash went a lot further then. Now, we're almost the opposite. fucking impossible. Like, you want to start off, go buy one dozer. Who the fuck's got 900 grand? Just go buy one dozer to get started. And then the rates don't match that. So you don't have the cash to go start it, but you can borrow
So
money.
you don't buy brand new, you buy auction and shit.
What's it cost to fix a dozer when it shits the bed on the... You can't afford to fix it.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying there's other business models.
There is. Like, you can go buy the used, you can do all that, but it's still not cheap. Yeah, you can go buy the
I know
dozer.
it's not cheap.
You can go buy the dozer for 300 grand,
Yeah.
but you're putting an engine in it, you're doing a tranny, you're doing undercarriage, and all of a sudden you're still $600,000 into this
You're
dozer.
saving 300.
Sure.
Just saying.
Well, what's $300,000 of downtime worth?
But
When you got to do an engine, a tranny, tracks. Like,
we're not just buying one dose. You can't do fuck all with one dose.
But that's what I mean. So how much cash do you need to actually start something? That's a lot of fucking cash.
No, I know.
So there's a lot more reliance on borrowing money right now, because borrowing money is still not cheap. Like, money's always expensive, but it's not 20%.
Rent to own and that
There's
type
rent to
of shit
own
too?
options, and that's where you see the rental houses have absolutely exploded in the last
There's so
5
many I
years.
can't even keep track.
Every company's starting, well, like Optimum, I was there for that, and the way that started, and then I seen what was kind of going around, like everybody's doing it. And it makes sense. Like, I'm doing it. We have fucking 20 pieces, and I'm able to rent it out during our off season.
No, I know, but your background is rentals and you know how to.
I had the contacts.
That
like,
too.
Right? It's at the end of the day, it's all about who you know. And you can take those wherever you go, whatever industry. But to actually start a company on cash right now, it'd take a lot of cash to do it. So that's where I was going with that, is that's where it's a lot easier to have a lot of friends in the industry versus a lot of competition. Like, it's hard to grab a trucking fleet of 20 to 40 trucks. Like, there's very few companies that have that right now. So it's a lot easier to have your 5 trucks and partner with 3 or 4 other companies that you work really well with, and it's back and forth, and go, okay, like, we're going to use your trucks for this project, and when you have a project, we'll work with you. And I think there's a lot more of that right now, where everybody's kind of working together, because
I've been seeing that too.
it's not possible to do it on your own unless you're already a superpower. And even then, they're still relying on other contractors and friends and within the industry. The demand for projects are a lot bigger. Like, it's you only have so much time to burn a lot of money. So you go to a project, you need to move, I don't know, 40,000 ton of material. Contaminant hauling, for example, you need to move 40,000 ton of material out. You only have a small window to do that, where the budget matches, the weather matches. So no, you can't throw 2 trucks at it and just pick away at it as much as you'd like to. It's, okay, shit, we got 10 days, throw 20 trucks at it.
What's some cool projects Road Drill has done? You did a dump cell.
Yeah, so we did a landfill cell out by Hinton. That was really cool. We moved scrapers for that. The scrapers were awesome for that. We moved that was about 300 cubes of dirt we had to move. I think we had 6 buggies running a day, and we were doing 12 to 15,000 cubes a day. This is good production. We got the strikes out in Vancouver. The liner was coming from overseas. That put the project on hold. The liner got held up in transit, out of our control. But outside of that, the project went really well.
So dump cell, you guys do like lots of road building, I seen.
Yeah, we've done a couple of road projects. We're doing like one a year.
Range road type shit or what? Not like highways.
No, like, it's secondary roads. Yeah, we haven't done any major highways, twinning or anything like that. Those are
Yet.
Those yet. We'll see. Those are big projects. A lot of people, a lot of equipment. Oil field, we're doing quite a bit of rec right now. That's good work. Enjoy doing that. Heavy hauling, like, we've been moving D10s, 11s, all that stuff. That's good work.
You have your own truck, trailers?
Yeah.
Rail trailer or what?
Yeah, so we work, the partners, like, we work with another company, so we've kind of got the trailers that we use most commonly, and then if we go bigger, we work with them really well, and it's kind of a back and forth between them. So that works. It works, yeah. We can go after more work than we can do ourselves, because we have those relationships,
Right,
and just opens the doors a little bit more as we're starting out.
Yeah, I find with myself, I can take on projects. I mean, it's different. It's not construction, but like, I can go into a big project, although I maybe not have the people or the gear to do it, but it's like, well, I can just fucking buy it
Yeah.
to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can hire people to do it. So, like, I'm always trying to take on more than I can actually handle. I mean, that's how I'm kind of scaling up slowly,
Yeah.
but...
Well, I think that's how you have to do it. Like our big thing is try not to say no. Obviously, we're saying no if we can't make money at it. But if we think we can move stuff around, shuffle, borrow, bring this person in, we can still make a little bit of money, build the relationship with the client. And at the end of the day, Matt on his podcast, he said it really well. You have to add value. There's a lot of companies that move dirt. There's a lot of companies that move equipment. It's a very competitive market, so you got to add value to how you do it better, and that's where we're do everything in our power not to say no.
When it has to be right, you can trust Leica Technology to help you get the job done and grow your business with their cutting-edge technology. Training employees is challenging and expensive, but Leica's simple to learn, simple to use products allow you to get your workforce up to speed much faster. Trust me when I say Leica Machine Control will help you move more dirt more efficiently. For more information on Leica Geosystem Solutions, please visit leica-geosystems.com. Now that we're back from the break, I would like to mention that this podcast is sponsored by Leica Geosystems. What do you hate about construction? What's some shit that needs to be changed?
The one thing I hated the most, but I think it's kind of evolved a little bit. Like I hated the, I didn't personally, like I enjoyed it. I like the go, but there's the attitude from consultants and customers that like you were expected to do what they need at a drop of a dime. So they call you on a Friday night, I need 3 rock trucks and 3 rock truck operators tomorrow. It's fucking Thanksgiving weekend. It's like, okay, so you're calling these guys, I know you have plans with your family. Their customer, it's our biggest customer. It's really hard to say no to them. Like, can you work with us? And you're begging guys to go to work. Like, that was kind of the attitude. And you know, your misplanning becomes my emergency. And that's kind of the attitude of construction. That's adding value. That's what you have to do to get ahead, I think. But I started noticing a change, I want to say, like during COVID, when you physically could just not get more people. Like, we have nobody, we can't hire anybody, we can't find people. People are locked up at home, they don't want to come to work. Like we cannot do any more than we're doing. Like, we are capped. And I think there's starting to be a transition where before it was like, I got nobody, and it's like, well, find somebody, figure it out, this is your problem. Whereas now it's kind of like I got nobody, and they go, yeah, neither do I can't even get a supervisor out there to deal with it, so let's push it till Monday. Perfect. Yeah, everything costs money, it's expensive, but I think there's a little bit of a transition starting to happen.
It's a common problem now.
Everybody's in the same boat.
Airports don't have enough people. Like, everyone doesn't have
It's
enough.
It's not a
Construction problem.
No, it's everywhere. Everybody realizes it. Everybody sees it. And I think people are starting to come a little bit more accommodating to it, and I think that's good. It sucks calling somebody on Friday. Like, I know we didn't have anything this weekend. You made plans with your family, but like I got nobody. Get me out of a bind. And you get good operators that would, but then, you know, they text you, my wife's pissed, sorry, I can't go. It's like, well, I don't blame you.
I don't know how many times I dealt with that shit, and like back when I was an operator, I was the guy always going to do it. Yeah. Missing everything with my kids.
Yeah. And you can throw as much money as you can at somebody for that stuff, but that doesn't cover enough.
There's more to life than money.
So I think there's a transition in the industry where more people are starting to realize that. People are starting to see that in the field, in the office, customers. Like, it's not. I've had a lot of conversations this summer, and somebody's like, "Hey, like, can you guys crew up?" And it's like, "Yeah, in 4 days, we'll get something figured out." And people are a lot more receptive to that. Where before, I remember, like, I need a day, figure it out. I need people here tomorrow. Okay, you betcha. So I think there's a transition happening there where everybody's starting to come around to it a little bit. You obviously want to do whatever you can. Like, if your customer's buying, you do whatever you can to get them out of it. But there is limitations to what everybody can do.
You kind of grew up in construction. You came from a family business, I don't want to get into that side of it, but like you ventured outside of the family business to, I guess, chase your own dreams and goals, which I have huge respect for. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, do you have big goals? Like, are you trying to like prove something, or are you
No,
just?
no, it has nothing to do with that. It's just from Pidherney. Pidherney's is a massive company. They're a powerhouse. They have a lot of systems in place. They have a lot of structure. They do what they do really well. I learned a lot working there. Like, it's nothing bad to say. My biggest thing is I like building the operating systems. I like introducing new things. I wanted to build something else. I wanted to help them
It
build.
was already built. There's
It's
not
already
much
built. I come in and say, like, hey, I think we should do things a little differently. And it's, well, this doesn't affect you. It affects fucking 40 other people. So, sure, if it's a good idea, everybody is on board with it. But it's not just I want to introduce this. So, like, I wanted to, I don't think it was much as proving anything. It's just, I really like building the operating systems. I like introducing that. I like trying to be different than every other construction company. They're set in their way. They're set up. They're good. They're going to be successful for years to go. Great. I want to see how I can do that. I guess we're kind of doing the same stuff, but doing it a little differently, trying new stuff. Having the opportunity to fuck up and go, okay, like this operating system, we rolled it out in June. Complete disaster. We should have held on for 4 more months, introduced it kind of November, December, but I built it. I said, fuck it, like I want to see how this works. And it was a shit show. But made it work, figured it out. I had the support of everybody at the office and in the field. The field guys were awesome about it. Like, we had the support to push it out and grow it. And I don't think it would have came to where it is now as fast without doing it at that time. You can kind of do test rollouts and try it out here and there. And it's just not the same. It was one of those things of like crash and burn type deal. So having the opportunity to do that is fun and exciting and makes it enjoyable to go to work, where when you're dealing with a powerhouse, you can't do that. Like, you would cripple a lot of things there. Like, you just can't do it. Whereas here, like, we're able to try it out, use it, play with it, tweak it, make it better. And I think we're going to see a lot more, I think we're going to grow. We're going to be able to grow that side of things and streamline that side of things a lot quicker than I'd be able to do it anywhere else, and have a product that maybe I can sell one day, right?
But the goal is to have it work internally for.
Goal is to make road trail so efficient like it's adding value to our customers. So like when we go to do work, doesn't matter how piddly the job is, you can get your safety paperwork that night, you can get your invoicing that night, you can get your field tickets that night. It's all just speeding up the process of getting information out. And then same thing with our AR and invoicing and stuff. If we can get all this structured, all the information there, we can basically invoice it with very little input. It's more so just transfer the information and invoice it. So it makes the lives of everybody in the office easier. And then reporting, if we can get that information structured enough where we go do a job, like you hear it in construction all the time, like, are you making money? And I don't know, we'll find out in 2 months when we're done the job. I want to be able to look at it that day and go, shit, like, we lost money today. What do we need to do different tomorrow to make sure we're making money? And some projects, you lose money on days and you make it back on other days. That happens. But I want to be able to look at that and have the information to look at that and go, okay, we lost money on a big trucking haul. We got 3 more weeks of this. How do we make this better to make sure we're not losing money? And that's kind of the end goal, right? And if we can do that, then we can bid tighter. We can get our numbers tighter. We can say no to work when we go, yeah, like, we're not going to make money on this.
I've worked at a couple big outfits, and I was the foreman in charge of doing like the job costing every day, like on the timesheets, from wages to like how much dirt we're hauling, how much per cube. Like, I would have to do all this math. First I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Yeah. But it made it so much. I knew when I was losing money. So it's like, okay, tomorrow I need to do something different. What the fuck am I going to do so I'm not losing money? Like, you don't want to be the foreman losing money every day on your job, because like you're not going to be a foreman very long. No. So I found it was very helpful for me to get better and like move dirt more efficiently and stuff like that. Although it was all done on paper back then.
Yeah.
It helped me, but I used to hate it. Going back to your software, is there not existing software that does similar stuff?
There is, and I've used some of it. It's incredibly.
It's just missing things.
No, it's incredibly expensive, like very expensive. It takes just as much time, like what I'm putting into this, it takes just as much time to implement it into your, like they all say, yeah, it's out of the box, take it and run with it. Well, no, you got to implement all your information in there. It takes just as much time. So you have the cost of that software and program to begin with, and you have the implementation cost, which is going to be your time implementing it. Plus you're hiring like they're charging you for one of their people to help you implement it. And then they're all out of the box, so it's not just your company using it. There's 20 other companies using it. So when you go, hey, I don't like the way this is laid out, well, it's very seldom. It's, okay, yeah, no, we'll fix that for you. It's, yeah, we'll talk about it for the next rollout. And then you wait a year, then you wait 2 years, and then it's like, well, fuck. Like, every system I looked at would work with about 60% of our business. There's always that 30 to 40% where it didn't fit and you had to run a different system or use a spreadsheet or have somebody doing manual labor with it or manual entry, and they're there. Didn't like them. I've used like a bid to win. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but bid to win's one that I used. It worked really good for some aspects, but other aspects it was horrible. And
You're allowed to say whatever you want, man.
And it's just, you can't tweak it enough, whereas this, like, it's our own. So I had a meeting with a customer yesterday, and we're talking about how we give them their daily tickets, and I show them, I'm like, hey, this is what we have. Do you guys like this? And they go, wow, could you add this? Could you add this? Could you add this? And I just whip my laptop out, and yeah, here's your guys' new template. This is what it's going to look like when we send you stuff. They're like, yeah, that's all. And I can do that for each individual customer, and every customer wants it differently. Every company wants different information. I mean, even with the company, every foreman wants their shit sent to them differently. So when you have an out-of-the-box program, this is how it is. You don't have that option unless you have somebody manually entering it, whereas the goal is to have it all automated, where, you know, you select a customer and it knows how to send them the paperwork. Mm-hmm. And same thing with getting information from the field. That's always been a challenge with any industry, getting that information from the field. There's lots of programs now where they have that capability. Just the way this is where the goal is to be like we have one system. That's all we use. Everything's done through it, and we're working towards that.
It's pretty cool. I've never talked about that type of shit on the podcast, so this is a great topic.
Well, it's a huge, like, I knew it was I always knew that was a big part of the business side of things, but I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. Like,
well, it's kind of hidden to the...
It is hidden, and you don't really think about it, but at the end of the day, you work for, I don't know, say we work for 20 or 30 different companies, and we're pretty diverse. We're doing a lot of different stuff. Every one of those companies handles their billing differently. So you have one AR person, they're not sending a couple invoices that all look the same to a couple different customers. They're sending 20 different styled invoices to 20 different customers talking about 20 different types of work. Like, there's a lot that goes into that, and that's our biggest struggle right now, is getting that streamlined and efficient without having to have 3 or 4 different people. Like, we have multiple divisions. Trucking's billed differently than earthworks. Civil earthworks is billed differently than oil field earthworks. Mining earthworks is completely different. Like, that's all separate. We're not big enough to have a manager for each department that's structuring it and managing it individually. So we got to have systems that kind of do it for us, is our goal. And at the end of the day, pay terms are slow, especially when you're talking construction. So the faster you can get your invoicing out, hopefully the faster you get paid.
So you would have to front all the money for the project, or is it like,
well, it's
bonded by some, like...
It depends. On, like, civil projects, you're going to be bonded, but, like, a lot of the, like, your operating costs, you go onto a project with 10 machines and 10 people, your cost is...
Fuel alone.
Like, your cost is huge for each week you work, and nobody's paying you weekly. So getting that invoice and getting it accurate, getting it out, getting it signed off on. And every company's got processes. Like there's companies that, yeah, we get it, we do this, we do this, we do this, and then, you know, your invoice is processed after 90 days. So if you take an extra week to get that invoice out, well, you're just adding 7 more days to that 90 days, and it just kind of compounds, right?
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and operating cost is huge.
I see you guys have a lot of Komatsu machines.
Mm-hmm.
How's SMS as a dealer?
Good. Their support's been really good. I personally think a lot of the machines are very similar. You got cat guys who are going to say cat's the best machine in the world. You got deer guys who are going to say deer's the best machine in the world. Maybe not so much here, but somewhere around the world, there's Komatsu guys that say Komatsu's the best machine in the world. So at the end of the day, I think equipment's equipment. They all have the same problems. They all break down. They all have their issues. They all have their things that people like about them. At the end of the day, it comes down to dealer support, and you know, Finning and Brandt, they're powerhouses anymore. And with the equipment shortage in the last 3 years, a salesman hasn't had to be a salesman. It's, I got this in the yard, buy it, and you go yes or no, and if you say no, so the next phone call he's going to buy it. Like that's kind of how the salesman structure gets. So dealer support's been probably the biggest factor of who we're purchasing from and why.
So that's why you have mostly Komatsu machines.
Yeah,
right now they're providing the best.
Right now we get great support from them, and that's worth its weight in gold. Price of machine obviously makes a big difference. They're all fairly similar unless you start going to the some of the off brands right now, but even then, some of those off brands I think are going to offer better dealer support than the big names right now, and that's why I think you see them starting to take quite a bit of market share.
Yeah, there's lots of them coming in, and I like to see that actually. Like,
Oh, it's awesome. And
it's good to have competition. It makes you work harder.
Yeah,
you become better just by simply competing against someone.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about butt chugging? Like,
what's
me and Jacob did, but I cut most of that out.
You cut most of that out. I heard the one butt chugging comment.
I stopped it right there because it got way heavier than that.
So, with your film experience coming from the porn industry into this, how was that transition?
I mean, it's quite easy actually. You know, with porn, it's all filmed indoors, so you're using tripods and lighting and stuff like that. Where outside, you're doing it like drones and handheld and stuff like that, right? So.
Yeah. What? Okay, so we push hard on our social media and marketing, and you guys helped us out. Like you guys did our website and help us out with lots of content, and the value in social media. Like I see it as.
Let's talk about that.
I see it from a perspective of bringing in new people, attracting new talent. I don't know if you'll ever sell a job from it, but I think you know, when it comes to sales, everybody gets spammed with millions of spam emails, and there's billboards on every section of that. Like you see so much noise out there, so it's a matter of how do you break through that noise and stand out. And I think it's consistency. So you make like the way I look at it is you can make a Facebook post. That Facebook post isn't going to sell your product, but you cold call somebody, you drop off a card. You don't fucking ever talk to the person, but you drop off a card. Okay, they might look at your card before they throw it out.
You message them every day on Instagram.
You find them on LinkedIn, you shoot them a message. You get their email address, you send them an email. You do this, you do that. You have to get in front of them so many times that, yeah, that Facebook page might not sell the job for it, but he might see your Facebook post, or he or she might see your Facebook post, look at it, and then all of a sudden sees your business card sitting on their desk and go, okay, there's connection. And like I think that's where it helps for developing, I guess, relationships and starting to get your foot in the door with people. I think it's just, okay, I've seen you on Facebook, I've seen you on Instagram, kind of know who you are. You're not just a name on a business card anymore. Mm-hmm. You have a little bit of weight behind that with who you are. But I guess where have you seen the most? Like, have you ever seen straight posts to
motherfuckers,
money?
People have bought dozers because of my post. They've bought machine control because of my post. They've hired people. They've everything I've ever gotten in the past however many years is everything to do with social media. So like if it works for me, why can't it work for someone else in similar things? Like,
Yeah. Is there anybody, like, is there any new companies you see up and coming that are killing it on social media?
it's tough now because they changed all the algorithms and shit isn't performing like it used to. Even like my own posts aren't performing like they used to. So it's more geared towards like stupid content with no substance at all. Just like a reel that I put out yesterday. I did it no cut, one single thing, 30 some seconds long to IG suggested music, and that will outperform a highly produced video. Like the one clip essentially is about nothing. Where you could tell like a story with a whole nother thing and have a big description and like teach someone something, some substance, some value to it.
Yeah.
And like now that's getting thrown at the bottom. It gets like no views. The simple shit is getting the tens of thousands of views.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. But me as a business, I need to evolve with the times, so I'm trying to do a mix of both.
Well, it's that TikTok style format where it's a quick.
TikTok has changed the games. It's actually changing the minds of all the people. So like now people have 5 to 10 seconds. So in that amount of time, you need to catch their attention. Like whether it's like on your website with some content that's on, like people's attention spans have gone way down, and it's because of TikTok. That whole style.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got into TikTok yet.
I mean, it's super addictive. Sometimes I get lost on it. It's
Oh, no,
holy
like,
shit, 2 hours goes by.
I'll scroll TikTok, but as far as making TikTok for Road Trail, I haven't.
Yeah.
I hate posting, but kind of see it as a necessary evil.
I'll do it for you.
We're poor.
Make more money.
We're trying.
The fuck you waiting for? I'm just teasing you.
Fuck, we're poor.
We did make a website for you if you want to check out the Road to Real website. It'll be right up there. I'll make that pop up.
I would hope so.
Before I was doing it in this corner.
Yeah.
But it's the wrong corner on YouTube. It's over in
So
that
you just
corner.
looked fucking.
So it's up there. Now I know better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have you guys done more websites? Like, are you starting to get into that a little bit more?
We're trying to do less website.
Really?
It's a pain.
Oh, you guys do a good job, though.
I know, but it's a hassle. Some clients are better than others. We're still going to do it. Like, I still want to offer, like, a full-service, one-stop shop. Because here you can get rebranded, like, get a logo done. We can do your website. We can do all your content. We can film everything for you. We can do your social media. We can do your, like, everything, start to finish. We have a giant team of people here. So we have a lot that we can do. But yeah, as far as the website goes, we're trying to do a little bit less. We're always going to have that because that fits into the package of we can do everything for you. Where some people, that's what they want. Some don't. Some just want to ease into whatever. People are now seeing the value in media, what we're doing, social media, all that type of shit. Like back in the day, it was harsh. Like I'm not paying for that. Like fuck you.
It's a hard sell.
It's a hard sell. Now it's an easy sell because like everyone's jumping on it now. Yeah, we're busy.
It's good.
Been filming some cool shit. Like I just want to make kick-ass cool stuff, man. Like, but like with purpose and substance to it, not just like stupid reels. Like
Just
I hate that.
Posting for the state of posting.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've always tried to post with a purpose and, you know, go out of my way to teach people, I guess. I don't know everything, but the stuff that I do know, I like try to pass down because me in construction, like no one taught me shit. I had to learn, I'm self-taught everything. So like I had to pay attention and like work for free during lunches and like get time on machines. Like no one taught me shit. So my thought was, I'm online, I've built these platforms. So like I might as well do something to help the industry. So what I thought I could do is like, I don't know, pass down some knowledge through the post that I'm doing that will be seen by operators or whatever, right? And there's like a million people that have reached out to me like, oh, dude, I learned so much from you watching YouTube and like all your posts and blah, blah, blah. It's like I've actually made a huge impact over the years. It's fucking mind-blowing, but I mean, I love it.
You have a huge network with all your with all your platforms.
Yeah.
You reach a lot of people.
I wish it was more like, if I had a different name or whatever, it would be growing a lot faster. But yeah, across all platforms, I think all the pages and stuff are like at half a million or some shit like that. But
yeah.
Building culture is hard.
We're here to do the heavy lifting.
With over 30 years of experience in education, curriculum writing, and counseling across our team.
We have created a program that helps you do the intentional work to create a better culture for our industry.
Step by step, we will help you implement the 4 pillars: branding, team building, professional development, and community impact.
So I think the expectations you have of your people is it's crazy, and it's gotta be compensated for. Like, we got a couple phenomenal operators that'll drive truck, deliver the equipment, run, like rockstar operators will run the equipment, whether it's dozer, hoe, fucking grader. And then the worst part is they do that really well, and then you get that expectation from them. You just got to make sure you're taking care of those people, because when you start thinking about skill set behind that, you got a guy who can class 1 professional driver. He's awesome operator. He'll do this. He'll work weekends. He'll go to the one guy we sent him up to. I can't even remember what it was called. Fox Lake, which is like north. Fucking had to take a ferry onto site with a backhoe. Like, just like next level shit. And they show up every day. They do it. They work hard. They're great at their craft. Like, you can't find those people. Like, it's impressive what they bring to the table, what they can do, and you almost, when you're in the office and you're coordinating stuff and you're trying to get shit done, you just got to remember like what they're bringing to the table and how to appreciate that.
yeah, because what they could be doing is sit in a dozer and make the same amount of money and never have to get out and never have to do anything.
Hey, do you want to drive a truck? Fuck no. Okay. Cool. Like, sweet. And we're small. Like, everybody has to wear multiple hats, and we tell people that. Like, you know, especially office and supervisor, like, okay, yeah, this is your job title today. This is your job description. I'm going to change that next week. Whether we want to or not, it's going to change next week, because that's how we're growing and that's how things are going. So it takes everybody wearing multiple hats and working hard. Like, you can't function with a bunch of people working at 80%. We don't have the resources to sustain that. No. So you got everybody plugging away at 100, 110%. It's a grind.
So then you're saying you pay your people more than average companies?
We try to. Like, that's why when I say, like, we're trying to be, we have the industry, call it a grade, industry standard. We talk to other people, like, they're paying this guy, and, say the range for specific operators, $34 to $36 an hour. We're trying to make sure we're at that $36, $35 an hour mark for that skill set, right?
For myself, because I now have employees, what I'm trying to do is, like, I'm very conscious of, motherfucker, I'll pay my guys more and have less profit, like, to have a better company and have a better place to work and have happy people.
Yeah.
Like,
but yet you have expectations that follow that. I'm going to pay you more, but I'm going to fucking expect a lot more. Like, everything's got, at the end of the day, it's all dollars and cents. Doesn't matter. Everybody shows up to work for one purpose, and that's to sustain a lifestyle they want to live. Whether it's them making $1 million a year or $50,000 a year. Their goal is to sustain a certain lifestyle. And you gotta keep that into perspective. Like, you can't expect somebody to come in and want to work for free. That doesn't happen. Everybody's there with the same goal. So how do you manage that and use everybody for their skill set and make sure you're getting the most value out of it and make sure they're getting the most value out of it? Like, if it comes with customer relations and employees, like, if you as the employer or you as the vendor always win, your customer, your employee's pissed off. If they always win, well, it's not what's in it for me. It's not worth it. It's give, take. Sometimes they're going to win, sometimes we're going to lose, sometimes we're going to win, sometimes they're going to lose, they're going to give, they're going to take, and it's got to balance out at the end. Everybody's got to win from day to day. And sometimes you bend to help a situation or whatever it is, but everybody has to win, and if you keep that in mind, it's just different perspective, putting yourself in other people's shoes, going, okay, how would I feel if somebody called me on Saturday night, begging me to go to work the next day, and then they treat me like shit on Monday after I go get them out of bind.
It's how I almost try to do everything in my life, is put myself in other people's shoes to look from their perspective.
Yeah.
And like how I would like to be treated.
Yeah.
Like as a foreman, I would always do that, and now as a business owner, I still try to do that. Right?
Yeah.
And that's probably the best thing you can do to keep people happy.
It is, and it's hard too though. Like
There's a balance to that though. You can't be too soft, right?
well, and sometimes there's just like dumb shit where it's like you
Yeah.
guys like, and there are employees out there that are there strictly to make money, and they don't see the give and take relationship of it, and you know it goes both ways. Like those aren't going to be the guys that we bend over backwards to keep happy either. It's okay. I'm going to leave you a pipeline, and okay, see you later, right? Whereas you get your top tier guys that are always giving and then they're taking. And it's like, hey, like I'm not happy because of this. Okay, well, what can we do to fix it, right?
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Road to Rail expand even more. Dude, I'm a huge fan of you. You've came a long way in the last few years too. Me being friends with you. I'm just pumped to see where all this shit is going for you and Road to Rail. Thanks for coming on the podcast. We covered a bunch of different things that have not yet covered on the podcast. I love your perspective. I respect your opinions and all that stuff, right? So that's why I wanted to have you on. Thanks very much for coming.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Podcast I've listened to all of them so far. They're good. I like them. They're enjoyable. I actually enjoy throwing it on and listen to it. I'm not forcing myself to listen to it. So that's awesome. And yeah, same thing where you guys have come from.